February, I went over my top 10 current peripheral neuropathy treatments for 2023, and we got a ton of comments. And several people wrote in saying that I didn't cover a single homeopathic treatment. And they'd be correct. I actually covered 2. So that's what this video is about today. Homeopathic treatments specifically for peripheral neuropathy. This is me addressing those comments. Right this way. So the first comment that stood out was one from Tara, who stated that she watched the entire video specifically wanting to know more about homeopathic treatments, but said that I didn't cover any of this. So this told me that there's most likely a poor understanding of what can be considered a homeopathic substance. Today, homeopathy is a buzzword that is used a lot, along with organic or natural. But if you didn't catch the 2 that I did review, then go back and watch it and see if you can identify them after watching today's video. So homeopathic substances can include herbs, minerals, roots, or even animal products. These substances are often first crushed and dissolved in a liquid, usually distilled water, alcohol, or lactose, mechanically shaken, then stored.
Shaken, not stirred.
No. Then at that point, this initial dilution is called, wait for it, the mother tincture. Further distillation occurs from this original strength, and so it goes. And if you're getting as sick as I am of listening to me say homeopathic and homeopathy
a little bit
over and over again, buckle up, because there's no way to shorten this or abbreviate it. So, yeah. Okay, so what exactly is homeopathy and where did it start? So homeopathy is a medical system developed in Germany more than 200 years ago, and it's based on the belief that minimal doses of natural substances can stimulate the body to cure itself. Now, these natural substances in larger doses are typically known to cause symptoms in healthy people, but in small doses can be used to treat similar symptoms. And this is actually the foundation of homeopathic theory that believes like cures like. And homeopathic medications are referred to as remedies. And I'm also going to preface this video with the fact that homeopathic remedies should only be used under the guidance of a licensed homeopath, which is someone who's had extensive training in homeopathy by a nationally recognized authority. And aside from somebody who's experienced in homeopathy, you also want to consult your doctor or NP, PA, whoever you see. Everybody needs to be on the same playing field when we're talking about self-treating with a lot of these over-the-counter treatments. So while these substances may be very helpful in some cases, they can also cause more harm than good by causing further damage or interfering with prescribed medications that someone's taking for PN or another condition. Now, this is truer of oral homeopathic supplements, but I think it's fair to say that here the topical preparations are also absorbed through the skin, so it's always better to err on the side of caution. I'd also be remiss if I didn't include the FDA's notice regarding the December 6th, 2022 final guidance describing the regulations for the homeopathic products posing the greatest risk to patients. And they explicitly state that there are currently no FDA-approved products labeled as homeopathic. And they also go on to say that they cannot ensure that these drugs meet standards for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Previously, the FDA warned the public about homeopathic products, including those that contain a toxic substance and the ones that have been recalled due to contamination. Further, it also stated while products labeled as homeopathic are generally labeled as highly diluted, some of these products have been found to contain measurable amounts of active ingredients and can cause significant harm. And the larger issue here is some products are marketed to treat very serious conditions and diseases. So to be as thorough as possible for this video's purpose, I am going to relay the guidelines regarding dosing in accordance with the mainstream sites that specialize in homeopathy. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the nurse at the front of your screen because she is going to point out the safety features of 5 homeopathic treatments for PN, and we'll begin with the dosing guidelines that apply to home prescribing for simple, self-limiting complaints, aka menstrual cramps, anxiety, or headache. Low potencies are typically labeled as 6C and below. Medium potencies are labeled 30C and 200C. High potencies are labeled M and above. Lower potencies such as 6C cover a wide range of symptoms, so are ideal if you're not certain that you have chosen the best remedy for your symptoms. Higher potencies need to match symptoms more precisely if a curative response is to be triggered. As a general rule, the higher the potency, the longer the effect. There are many homeopathic remedies that may be used to treat PN depending on the individual's symptoms and medical history. I came across numerous preparations in my research, so this will be the first of a few videos highlighting the ones that are the most commonly and widely accepted in the treatment of PN with the highest relevancy and efficacy. So here we go. Before I get into these, just one more thing. Some of the pronunciations of these remedies, I'm probably going to butcher.
Understood.
So, yeah. The first is Arnica montana. Now, Arnica belongs to the Asteraceae family, which are a group of flowering plants containing several well-known members such as chamomile, marigold, and daisy. So for centuries, this remedy has been used for injuries that cause nerve damage, and it may help reduce pain and inflammation in the affected area. Arnica is also really great and super effective for conditions such as joint and muscle pain, arthritis, bruising, and to promote healing in general. I actually used to rub in Arnica cream on my legs when I had achiness or bruising when I was cheerleading in high school, and it definitely worked. And out of all 5 of these that we're talking about today, this is the only one that I have personal experience with. It has various pharmacological activities, including anti-inflammatory, analgesic, meaning pain relieving, antimicrobial, anti-arthritic, and anti-neoplastic, meaning it blocks the formation of potentially cancerous growths. So treatment is available in the form of several products, including gels, creams, roll-ons, teas, pellets, liquids, and tablets. But a note about the oral preparations of Arnica. Oral formulations pose a greater risk of toxicity and cause more adverse effects than topical formulations because they're more sensitive to concentration inconsistencies, particularly in higher concentrations. In clinical trials, subjects reported gastrointestinal effects, dry mouth, headache, drowsiness, and lethargy. In high concentrations, Arnica was associated with shortness of breath and tachycardia. Arnica also has anticoagulant and antiplatelet effects due to its coumarin content. Coumarin is used to make the well-known drug Coumadin. So this can also lead to an increased risk of bleeding. Lastly, oral preparations of Arnica may also lower the efficacy of blood pressure meds. But all in all, the topical applications are the most widely used in modern medicine. Next is Hypericum perforatum. This remedy may be better known as St. John's wort and is often used for nerve injuries, especially those that involve sharp shooting or burning pain. It may also help reduce numbness and tingling related to PN due to its anti-inflammatory and pain-reducing properties, and it's believed to improve nerve conduction and function as well. Now, St. John's wort is probably best known for being used as an herbal remedy for mild to moderate depression and anxiety, and is believed to work by increasing levels of serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter that affects mood and emotion. Some studies have shown that taking these supplements can improve PN, including the pain, numbness, and tingling. However, more research is definitely needed to confirm these findings. The big thing here is Hypericum perforatum can interact with other medications, including antidepressants, birth control pills, and blood thinners. Early on, I remember St. John's wort had gained ground as an alternative natural treatment for depression, and because it was natural, a lot of people didn't think that they needed to mention this to their doctor, and we were running into all kinds of problems. We were seeing a lot of serious problems such as anxiety, dizziness, and panic attacks. And then come to find out later, they had been self-treating with St. John's wort. Side effects include dry mouth and gastrointestinal symptoms, and it can also increase sensitivity to sunlight, so it's important to use sunscreen when taking it. All right, next is Belladonna, and it's also known as deadly nightshade, and it's a poisonous plant that has been used for medicinal purposes for centuries. Now, as far as PN goes, this remedy is used for sudden intense pain that comes and goes quickly, and it may also help reduce swelling and redness in the affected area. So how does it do this exactly? Well, belladonna contains several alkaloids, including atropine and scopolamine, which maybe people have heard of before. And these have anticholinergic properties. So anticholinergics relax certain types of muscles and are used to treat asthma and Parkinson's disease, to name a few. Now, these properties can help to relieve pain and muscle spasms that often go hand in hand with peripheral neuropathy. Some studies have shown that topical belladonna preparations can be effective, but again, the jury remains out here. Any practical magic fans, you'll recognize the reference to it here.
Belladonna, sedative. People put it in their tea to relax, calm their nerves.
Some people also use it as a poison.
Which people?
Witch people.
Aha.
Witches.
And these side effects include dry mouth, constipation, blurred vision, and confusion. It can also interact with antidepressants, antihistamines, and blood pressure medications. But while belladonna may offer some relief with peripheral neuropathy, there are other treatments available that have been more extensively studied and have fewer side effects, which brings me to the next on this list, which is Rhus toxicodendron, also known as poison ivy. This remedy is often used for pain and stiffness that worsens with movement. Rhus toxicodendron, also known as Rhus tea, is believed to have anti-inflammatory and pain-relieving properties, and there have been several studies related to its use in the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis as well. So homeopathic practitioners often recommend Rhus tea for people with peripheral neuropathy who experience burning, tingling, or numbness in their hands or feet. Preparations are typically made by diluting small amounts of the plant in water or alcohol and are believed to be safe and have few side effects. But while there is some anecdotal evidence to support the use of Rhus tea, there is little scientific evidence to confirm its effectiveness with peripheral neuropathy. It can cause skin irritation and allergic reactions in some people, especially if they come into contact with the plant. Obviously. In this study here, they dilute the plant into drops in pill form. In my research, I found that these little pill preparations, which dissolve under the tongue, also called sublingual, are available in most homeopathic stores and may also help with restlessness that often accompanies neuropathy and the achiness and inflammation from arthritis. Yeah, I don't know about this one, but if anyone watching has had good results, please leave a comment. So many of our viewers provide really excellent clarifications and suggestions that really benefit everyone taking the time to read through them. So it is always super appreciated. All right, onward to Causticum. And this was an interesting one. This remedy is often used for numbness and weakness in the limbs. It may also help reduce the associated burning or tearing pain and is a well-indicated homeopathic cure for treating muscle weakness in cases of peripheral neuropathy, where there is a reduction in muscle strength in the limbs along with the sensation of ants crawling on them. So Causticum is readily available online in various forms, again, including pellets, tablets, liquid. And it also said it comes in lotions and creams, but I was not able to find this anywhere. When looking at the labels, you might see the letters HPUS following the strength, such as Causticum 6X HPUS. These letters indicate that the component is listed officially in the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of the United States. Is it pharmacopoeia or pharmacopoeia?
Anyone cares.
I don't know. Anyway, this is a guide that has been in continuous publication since 1897 and is basically a catalog of all homeopathic remedies that meet the criteria for inclusion. Causticum is a top listed remedy for treating numbness in hands and fingers, which may also feel excessively weak and may also feel icy cold and sweaty. And this is what the entry looks like in the HPUS. Okay, so you can see that while homeopathic remedies may absolutely have their place as additions for symptom management, there is no real hardcore scientific proof that they actually work. Or if there is, maybe in a few instances, then there definitely needs to be more testing. The interesting thing is many of the mainstream medications we are prescribed today have their origins in natural substances. There, of course, are synthetic drugs, but all of them started with natural products that were then purified and altered in some fashion to become the meds we all take. IVIG is one of the mainstream treatments for peripheral and small fiber neuropathy. So watch this next to understand what it is and how it helps these conditions. And as usual, stay healthy and lucid. Oh, and one more thing. Lucid Med is going live in April. So I hope that you're all going to join us for our after hours live stream where we can all chat and ask questions and get to know each other better. As I get closer to the first one, I will be sure to communicate that loud and clear so I am not sitting there talking to myself. The first is Arnica montana. Now, Arnica belongs to the Asteraceae.